So I've got an important PSA. Bye.
Bye.
So, in November of 2020, I was on the phone with my siblings. My brother mentioned something called FanCams. I had no idea what they were because I was 25 at the time, and so my life on the internet had already been over. Out of that conversation, I feel like we must have been talking about like Child's Play or something like that. I think my brother said how funny it would be if there was a Chucky FanCam.
Can you explain FanCam?
So it's like compilations of an individual person in a group. So a FanCam for the Chucky doll, for example, would just be like mashed together clips of the Chucky doll.
I don't get it.
Neither do I. So I, on that night, made a Twitter account. Nice. Made a Twitter account for the sole purpose of making FanCams for the Chucky doll. As soon as I learned what they were.
Is it just like a mashup of videos?
I don't know what led you to believe that I have since found out what FanCams are, but they were a trend on Twitter about a year ago. I made the account for the Chucky doll, and then the first tweet was, I'm not going to tweet anything else until I learn how to make a FanCam. Since then, I've only tweeted from the account 2 more times. Once on the same night that I created it, when I found a link to a video explaining how to make FanCams. And then once earlier this month, when I tweeted about a TikTok that my brother sent me where somebody was playing charades, and the answer seemed to be obviously Woody from Toy Story. It was actually Child's Play. All that to say, I have a largely inactive Twitter account called chuckydotdoll, with all those words are spelled out.
Is that something that, like, am I showing my age here? Is that something young people know?
I think so.
I wish we had a young person we could call, like a lifeline.
My brother could probably do it. He knew what they were. I think he's right in that sweet spot where he knows about everything and can still be jadedly funny about it.
Oh my god, so we can definitely call him then.
What's the oldest you've ever felt? Trend-wise. Or, like,
Trend-wise?
Social concept-wise.
I at one point needed something from my computer.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thought was to go to a Radio Shack. They don't fucking exist anymore.
I think it was Snapchat that introduced it first, but like the point of stories, little clips that only last for a little while.
I mean, screenshotting is a thing, so.
Stories, specifically, like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I think calls them fleets or something. I don't even fucking know.
The only, like, stories I get on Facebook are about people selling oil.
Crude oil, or?
No, like essential oils.
Also the cloud, I don't quite understand. I know that that's like a stereotypical one of people typically much older than me, but I just like...
I understand that. The worry of all my shit disappearing and me having no backup versus the worry of somebody accessing my shit and having it. I mean, the one outweighs the other. I would rather that just disappear and be gone and me have to start from scratch than have somebody being like, I have your vacation pictures, you know? This was something I was thinking about like last week. All right, so picture a graph, right? Like a line graph.
Oh, yes.
On the bottom is different animals,
Okay.
from least cuddly to most cuddly.
Middle. Uh-huh.
On the other side is their life expectancy.
That's alright.
Now, you ever notice the more cuddly ones live not as long,
Uh-huh.
and the least cuddly ones live really fucking long. So, for example, least cuddly, turtles. Those suckers live to be like 150 years old.
Would you say that?
On the other hand, dogs.
Would you say that a turtle is the least cuddly animal?
No, I wouldn't say they're the least cuddly, but they're not painful to cuddle. They're certainly not cuddly.
Yeah.
Same with, like, parrots. They live to be like 80 years old.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes longer, sometimes less. I guess it depends. But yeah, they're not a cuddly animal, and they live to be mad old. But then like dogs and cats live longer, which makes sense because they're less into cuddling than dogs typically. But like, do you know what I'm saying? The only thing that somehow does not fit into this graph is fish. Fish have their own thing going on.
I would be curious to see, like, if fish could cuddle, how cuddly they would be.
Snakes can live to be pretty old. Same with, like, sharks. Are they cuddly? No. Alligators, too. Cuddly? No.
You know, I've never thought about that before, but now it's going to be the only thing I ever think about, ever.
I know. I was thinking about it last week. That's when it first popped into my head. I'm still thinking about that shit.
It's fucked, man.
I know. So this later branched off into in a couple different directions.
Yeah.
The one is, okay, then where do humans fit on that? Why is it the mean ones that always live longer? Then this brought me to another thing. Pokemon.
Okay.
How long do you think Pikachu is gonna last? He's arguably one of the most cuddly ones.
I don't know, man. He's certainly lived the 25 fucking years that the show has been on.
It'd be funny if it was one of those situations, though, where, like, it's not the same Pikachu. Ash's parents just went ahead and got a different Pikachu. You know. But yeah, so that's what's been plaguing me these days.
It's fucked, man.
I know! Oh, God. Have you ever had any reoccurring thoughts that you just kind of can't get out of your head?
I get real confused about how people knew to start eating foods. Or, like, milk? Who was like, you know what? I bet if I squeeze this hard enough, something delicious will come out. And good for my bones. But, like, coconuts?
Yeah, I would have given up.
Eggs? How many people died from eating raw eggs before someone was like, you know what? What if we cooked these first?
Or cooking anything. You know that first person to throw a steak on the fire?
Yeah.
His family or roommates or whatever were like, you're ruining it, you know?
Right.
I've oftentimes wondered of all of the plants and things, like the green types of plants that you can eat, lettuce, dandelions, stuff like that. At what point did people figure out you can't or shouldn't eat grass?
Do you know I found out that grass is actually an invasive species?
Yeah.
I think maybe you told me that, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, although it tracks.
I would like to know where it came from, initially.
Crabs.
Like crabgrass?
Right. Got it.
Part of me feels I could have lived without that moment.
Can't
The
win.
magic of editing. I'll leave it. That was a win for you, I can tell.
Plant update? Or are you going to pull it from the...
I'll pull it from the other one.
So when we change outfits for this plant update, don't be alarmed. It's from a different vlog that never aired. It's time to hear about Fisher's plants, and their names are Willow and Fern.
I just measured Willow and Fern the other day, and they are getting huge. Fern, the tall one, is up to like 26 centimeters, which includes the pot. But still, I look at the pot as kind of like their shoes. Willow's a little bit shorter. They're about to exceed the length of the little like ruler that I use.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about doing another one on top of that. And it's like, once they've gone into that, they're officially big kids. Even though they're old ladies. Thanks for watching Fisher's Plants. We hope to see you next time, bud. Yeah, it was supposed to go last weekend, but it was so terrible that we were just like, you know what? Nothing is better than this. We'll just do nothing. Which was bizarre because that was the first time since we started this that we skipped a week. It felt very odd. But we're back now.
Like it or not. All right. Bye!